Sanskrit is a hard language. It is difficult, it is confusing, it is intricate. And that is Sanskrit's greatest beauty. But in the modern day, there has been a significant push to market Sanskrit as easy. People will tell you, people will lie to you, that you can speak Sanskrit in a day, in a week, in a month, that you can speak it fluently with zero problem at all. This is false. Anyone who has studied Sanskrit to any real degree will tell you that Sanskrit is hard to learn. And if you want to speak it with any degree of fluency, you have to put in hours upon hours of effort, just like any other skill or hobby. But the people marketing Sanskrit as easy aren't just lying, they are actively eroding the language so as to make it easier for new learners to pick up on. The most egregious example of this is ktavatu pratyaya. No longer are learners tasked with learning the past tense in Sanskrit. Oh no. Just use this one participle. It's super easy to use. Sakritavan, sakritavati, and that's it. Those are the only two forms that you need. Aham kritavan, tvam kritavan, bhavan kritavan, bhavati kritavati. And you do not have to learn any other form. This removes the person aspect of using verbs. So it's a lot easier for people to pick up on this. However, in the actual language, in actual usage, ktavatu pratyaya is a lot rarer. It is not the go-to past tense. And in fact, it is not used like a simple past tense. Modern speakers will say aham kritavan when they mean I did. But in the past, in actual ancient literature, ktavatu had a perfect meaning. Aham kritavan asmi used to mean I have done. Sakritavan asti means he has done. Or in the past tense, sakritavan asit would mean he had done. This was not a tense, this was not a participle of narration. It is only in the later language that it slowly gets this value, and even then, ktavatu is always in the minority of instances. It's the minority of narration. Most of the time, what is used is latlakara, litlakara, and kta pratyaya. But most of that is ignored, and instead, curricula will focus on just ktavatu pratyaya because it's easy. Eroding the language's diversity in such a manner is so disingenuous and so disrespectful to the language. And I find that the people pushing this are just lying to people and trying to change Sanskrit to fit the easy marketing strategy that they have going for it. And it doesn't stop just at ktavatu pratyaya. They are actively removing the word you in Sanskrit. People are actively avoiding tvam in favor of bhavan and bhavati. Again, these are far easier to decline. They're far easier to use. And in fact, you don't even have to use madhyama purusha. You don't even have to use the second person anymore. You can forget about it. You could just say bhavan asti and forget the tvam asi. In actual Sanskrit literature, tvam is far more common. But because yushmad shabda is so annoying to learn, it doesn't make as much sense. It goes tvam yuvam yuyam. And of course you have all those enclitic forms, just like with asmad shabda. People don't want to learn it. So they simplify, they erode Sanskrit, they remove the beauty of Sanskrit in favor of this very simple bhavan and bhavati system. Of course, the number one objection to not using bhavan is that tvam is somehow disrespectful, but this is not the case. In actual literature, bhavan and tvam are sometimes used in the same sentence to refer to the same person by the same person. There's nothing disrespectful about using tvam. It is the exact same as bhavan, and you must use it interchangeably with bhavan and bhavati if you want to speak proper Sanskrit. Otherwise, you are just overusing bhavan and you are again, being disingenuous to how Sanskrit actually was. But disregarding for the moment what is being taught, we must look at what is not being taught. Modern day students are taught lat lakara. If they're lucky, they will be taught lang lakara. They will be taught the future tense rit lakara, ling and lot. And only vidhiling, not ashirling, but vidhiling and lot. This is only half of Sanskrit's lakaras. There's a whole other 5 that are barely even taught and are only mentioned in the footnotes. The most important of these is, of course, lung lakara, the third past tense and the hardest past tense that is rarely, if ever, taught. This was the most common past tense in actual speech. You see this in dialogue, and you see from languages like Pali that Old Indo-Aryan and the Sanskrit stage of languages most definitely used lung lakara far more often than they did lang lakara in normal speech. But lung lakara is barely taught. It is a passing mention. No student is ever required to be proficient in the use of lung lakara, even though that's how Sanskrit most likely sounded. And I feel that those who are unwilling to put in the effort to go through and learn these hard lakaras, to learn these hard declension tables, if you are not willing to put in that effort, then you shouldn't learn Sanskrit in the first place. Sanskrit is hard, and it requires the effort. Those unwilling to put in the effort should not learn Sanskrit.